You ready to go?
Yes, I am.
Welcome to Agree to Understand with Chris Richardson. I am Chris Richardson, and I am particularly happy with my guest today, Miss Saniya Pearson. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing, Mr. Richardson?
I'm ecstatic. This is great. You're my first remote interview as well, too. Conversation interview. Like, I'm not asking you questions. This is a conversation. You have things to say, too. I am really excited about this. For those of you who don't know, Saniya Pearson, her pen name is Poetry SAP, is an International Baccalaureate senior at Central High School in Capitol Heights, Maryland, and the 2024 Youth Poet Laureate of Prince George's County, honored by the Maryland General Assembly and the county's Board of Education for her achievements. Her work has been featured on prominent stages including the Kennedy Center, Bowie State University, and events honoring Malcolm X. And she has competed nationally with the DMV Slam Team. You go, girl, all the snaps in the world for you. And I'm not even done reading her bio. She is the author of I Am Not Your Literature. I'm holding up the book in my hand, and I'm actually wearing a hoodie from the event that she had that was well attended. It was a sellout for her book release. That just shows you the love and the admiration for her. She aspires to continue creating socially conscious poetry while pursuing a career as a civil rights attorney, and Lord knows we need that more than ever going forward. You can read more about and follow her at www.saniyapearson.com and or Poetry SAP on Instagram. I can't stop smiling because, like I said at the top of the show, I did know you when you were like 3/4 of my size. You were like all of what, 5, 6, 7, or when I first met you, through your mom and your uncle, going to church, and it's the things that are genuine that you don't realize are happening around you, and they come back full circles. I didn't even know you just were paying attention to me. It's like, who's that? Like, that's my mom's friend. I'm like, well, she don't know me. She don't care about me. But then it's like it's full, it's full circle. It's like, well, actually, I do remember you. That's Mr. Richardson. I'm like, oh, heart melting, but it's all good. We are talking about worth today. Hearing that word sometimes can be kind of ambiguous, especially when we say, what's your worth, my net worth, portfolio. Like we put so many things in front of the word worth. When you hear the word worth, what's the first thing you associate that with? Like what emotion or what comes to your mind?
The first thing for me would be self-esteem.
Oh,
I think a lot about how much value we place on ourselves in comparison, or maybe in spite of how society may define what worth is. And I think of it as if you take everything else away, how would you introduce yourself? So
mm.
that's what I think of worth is, and how much of an impact you want to or are making in the community by just being here.
See, you're already writing poetry. See, we didn't even get 2 minutes into the podcast. You're already writing poetry. um, I like that. For me, I like to joke around the old man Chris is making its appearance more and more every day. But when I hear the word worth, and I won't lie to you, right? There is I don't know if the word animosity is too strong for this, but it's almost like I want to jump ahead and I can say it. I'm assuming people will attach a monetary value to it before they even say anything. Like you said, your worth in community, what you've actually done with your two hands, God-given opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. I've allowed myself to be jaded to a point where it's like once I hear the word worth, I'm looking for somebody to say something about money versus just letting them say it first and then letting that drive or not drive my response to that, right? And I think that's so poignant the way you said that, because it does uh, remind me to temper that down. Like if you ask a question, let people answer it, right? I know the word worth gets thrown around so much and it's synonymous with money, but not everybody thinks that way. And sometimes my energy can prompt someone to say the word money. And I got to understand that too, in the same way with other people who are in my age bracket, the older, crustier folk. But, who would say, oh, you kids just think money and worth. I'm like, no, I'm talking to someone right now. Didn't even mention the word money not once. Right. And that's a powerful thing. I'm glad you said that. Do you think people struggle with how to separate their worth from their productivity or success, if they even separate that at all?
To your point, I definitely agree that a lot of times people might find it challenging, myself included. I know you mentioned money, but Another list of attributes can be somebody's title. When I think of myself being the Youth Poet Laureate of Prince George's County, like there's so many uh, layers to how people attach themselves to something might not even be monetary, but a label or title or achievements. And I think a lot of times people might struggle with separating themselves from that because of not just society's expectations, but their expectations for themselves now that
Mm.
they've gotten to this level where they're at. I mean, look at you, Mr. Richardson. You do so much: podcaster, videographer, photographer, model. I mean, you you do so much, and so I think that it's definitely a mixture of society as well as your own expectations, and it makes it difficult for people to separate themselves from that.
Making me blush here. I never lead. Well, no, never is a strong word. I rarely lead with that, and it's frustrating. I allow it to frustrate myself because you just mentioned things, right? Not just because you know about them, and not because I've used those skills to. We've benefited from each other, like me recording you and offering to photograph you. Obviously, you're on this podcast, but it's also when people don't. It's easy. I can see where it's easy for people to think, well, why didn't you go that extra step and make me feel worthy and research what I brought to the table? Right? Like, why does there have to be that? Why do sometimes I feel I had to remind you? Right. And that's sometimes where I'm definitely departing from it more as I've gotten older and more in a sync with all the things that I do, which is what still drives why I don't lead with that or even mention it sometimes. But again, being human and being honest and with this podcast and talking to you, it's still a little thorn there of like, I got to tell you all these things that I do. And it's not an ego stroke at all. Trust me. It's just like, why didn't you? Why, how didn't you know this? And then it's easy, so easy to cross that bridge and say, well, I'm not worthy. They didn't spend their time looking for me online. And it's like, well, woe is me. And it's just like, how we get here, right? And it's just like somebody sees you, right? And they may not always tell you, and they don't have to tell you, right? Like, and it's there's so many different ways to separate yourself or feel separated. And I think it's just as easy to find those ways. It's easy to get stuck and just, this little tight little circle just keep turning around and never moving in any one direction. And that's can be a little daunting, for sure, but that's why we talk about it. Yeah. In our society, and I will temper my smile because this is a very serious question, but the smile is the sarcasm because I can hear what you're about to say, I think. In our society, whose worth do you think is most often questioned or minimized?
Ooh, definitely on minority groups.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
uh, I actually made a poem about how Liberty is a black woman with a very talented poet, Lemonade Dream. And I do think that the underrepresented communities, like when you think about the Black community, when you think about the Hispanic community, when you think about women in any sort of power, and how sometimes that can be daunting, especially for people who sort of minimize their achievements or what they do based on their skin color or based on their nationality, their gender. So, to answer your question, it's really the groups where they do so much and they're so often overlooked because of people's prejudices and what they already have deemed their worth to be. So premeditative.
yeah, no, for sure. And just to clarify, my smile was not a laughing smile. It's more of an awkward. There's so many emotions that I can't. Like I'm smiling because I don't think my face can hold the intensity that I want to answer that question with along with you, right? And like the years of being minimized are often questioned, and it's. I watched this show, Abby Phillip. What is it called? Something tonight. Whatever. It's on CNN. They basically get on there and overtalk each other for like an hour. Sometimes, sometimes they do have great questions. She's a great moderator. Don't let me dismiss that at all. But it's amazing when the people get on there and get on their soapbox. They forget. this whole attack on minorities, like this country in particular, literally would not be what it is had it not been built and still being built off the backs of people who weren't even trying to come here in the first place, who were brought here against their will, and who are just trying to do right by themselves to get back, to either bring people here to have a better life or to go back where they want to go back to and, honor their origins. But it's just amazing how we, to this day, today, 2026, real time, I'll go outside and still be questioned faster than somebody who doesn't look like me. And it's
I agree.
amazing, and not amazing in a good way. Yeah, better word, baffling for sure.
Mm.
uh, to you, what is a sign that someone doesn't recognize your worth? And what do you do when you notice it?
So this, and I'm smiling because this is a joke that so many people often do, and they don't mean any harm by it. But it's every time someone puts a little before they say you do something. So, oh, you and your little poetry, like, you and your little published book, like,
Oh,
so, and that's just the joking side of it. But I think when people when they play down your achievement, since it's something that isn't mm, moments momentual, or something that's large, I think that's when I start to notice that someone isn't really taking me or my craft seriously. Or when they're like, "Oh, well, my little kid, they did this and this and this and this," and that's I think that's part of it, when you're just playing down
hmm
somebody's achievements, and to what you said, judging somebody based on how they look or how they're perceived. Because I'm young. I'm technically an adult, but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still sometimes questioned because of how young I am, and you're like, "Oh wow, you're very mature." There's, some kids, da 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 da, and there's so much premeditated thoughts about the youth and how they think,
Mm,
because I'm not the only one that thinks this way. There are so many free thinkers out there who are youth, who have talents, and it's just amazing to me how, when they see me, they're shocked, rather
mhm.
than, this is the narrative that's always been played. You just haven't been opening your eyes to see it. So, yeah. How about
Uh,
you?
that little. So as we both laugh at the same time, I have been as we used to say, get your chin checked. Not physically, but like I had to get stood up by people when I said that, because it was said so many times to me. And it, like you said, open. And I can honestly say it was coming more from a little, oh, you little, you little this, you hear the falsetto of my voice go up, there's no defensiveness. It is just that, oh, little something, little Chris, little Saniya. But it's like, to your point, it's like, there's nothing little about what I just did. Like, my accomplishments are them. Like, I had to fight to get in front of you, right? Whether I'm smiling or not, it's nothing little about it. And there's nothing little about my reaction to you. Don't try to little everything around me, right type thing. And uh the the second part of that question, now younger Chris would definitely be arguing you down in the street. Like, who's that? That's Chris outside. Someone must have told him he was little. You're gonna hear my mouth, right? So but that's because I was actually physically little. Like, there's so many backstories to that. But yeah, no, now it is more water off a duck's back, keep it moving. But you do catch me on the right day, you're gonna get what you want, right? Like, I'm like, okay, I missed the bus and you gonna eat all this 5 minutes. I'm waiting for the next bus. We're gonna have this out because you picked the right one. And I feel in that moment, it's not about yelling, it's not about, belittling back. It's just, okay, let me gather you. The same way someone gathered me together. Like, Chris, you saying the word little, I know you're laughing because I see you laughing, but it's stop. It's a tiny little hammer, creating little cracks in a big rock. Like, you're just making these cracks that will eventually turn into faults. So like they'll eventually break something. You keep saying that because, and I think more to what you were saying too, the end result, the person saying that little does not want it said back to them. I can guarantee you that they would not want it said back to them, and they don't want that hurt. They're not going to know what to deal with it. Right. So, it's, it's, I'm nobody's, uh, psychiatrist, counselor, anything of that nature. But it'd be nice to see someone do a deep dive into where that is so rooted in our culture and society. Like why is that one of our defaults to instantly, oh, a little poetry books, and like she just introduced herself, and it's already little. It's already little, right? And like goodness, right? I was like, I was gonna give you a free book, but now I was like, you're paying for it, right? And it's just like, sure,
Yeah, yeah. And to answer your second part, I didn't get the chance to, I know. But similar to you, the water off a duck's back, I try to not let the comments even be absorbed by my mind.
hmm
When I'm in my mode, I'm in my mode. So
yeah, hmm
um, that's how I'm able to cope with it, and I focus on the good things. Focus on the good things.
and that eats people alive. When it's like you didn't get a reaction, nope. It's like, well, let me take it up a notch. Well, it's even more little, like, and I'm even more unbothered. So it's, it's like you can keep going. I'm gonna keep going, and you're gonna keep going as well. But I have a destination. You don't. And maybe we meet up, maybe we don't. But I'm just gonna go ahead and keep going. So let's keep it moving, right? Literally. Uh, are there any teachings or accepted beliefs about worth that you may still be unlearning?
Ooh. So much to my earlier point about people separating from their achievements, the belief that your uh, level or how well you do is based on how much you've done
Hmm.
and the little time you have. I used to think, especially, and here is the comparison again. When we think about how little time or the time slot the society gives us in order to complete certain things like age 18, you're supposed to be moving out of your house, moving out on your own. um 25, that's a lot of people's midlife crisis
Mhm.
trying to figure out where they are, but
Yeah.
you're supposed to already have figured out who you are and what you want to do. I think about how a lot of people going to college now, they don't know what it is they want to do yet, but they're still pressured to figure it out. And I think that's something that I'm still unlearning because of how much I myself have dictated my worth based on achievements. And so just going through the process of separating oneself from those achievements, it's quite the opposite of what you were saying before, how it's like nobody acknowledging me. I am humble. I like being I guess Spider-Man where it's like in one instance nobody knows what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, just learning how to be okay and celebrate the wins that I've already
Mhm.
had. I think is something that I'm still learning. And as my mother said to me when I had first tried out to be Youth Poet Laureate, your talent does not need labels to live. And so when you think about comparison and how oftentimes it steals your joy, that's something that I think a lot of people can relate to, and something that I'm still working on too.
For sure. And I want to piggyback on something I meant to say earlier. So, in the not saying or not feeling, oh, you didn't know what I did. Like you said, being humble and no one knows what I'm out here doing, but I sure like it when people do say it sometimes too. Like when, when your mom reached out, well, both of you reached out, you have a very powerful poem that, you invited me down to record and we did
Mhm.
it and you did it in one take. I was just there to push record and capture it. And I'll share this. I had I was overcome with emotion because I think I was mid sentence talking to you, and as I'm talking to you now, I feel it welling up. It just was this someone hit the like God hit the button, boom, you're gonna cry. Like it just came out of nowhere, and like what all happened that I can remember in that moment was like you are worthy, right? You are supposed to be here helping Chris. Like nobody, it'd be great if, ABC, Fox, everything, Hollywood, you had movies, sure. I would accept it. I'm not considering and tell you that I wouldn't. But that is not like you're saying no one that those titles, all those things, someone who actually needs you, not wants you, who needs you, you're standing in front of them. You are worthy, right? And celebrate that win, right? And in that moment, I felt equal parts so small, but equal parts so seen, right? It was like,
Yeah.
because like you were doing what you do, right? And I'm not going to speak for you what was on your mind, but I know for me, in my mind, I'm like all these things processing from the videographer, photographer side of, okay, I got to make sure this, make sure she's looking at the camera, all this stuff. And the whole time it was this script writing like of, I'll say God writing, no, this is the thing that you keep missing, Chris. Like you don't stop yearning for the big billboard uh obnoxious, hey, we like Chris, he's worthy, right? This billboard moment in front of you called life, that's bigger than that, right? Because if I'm chasing that, you're not going to want me to come film you. You're not gonna, well, he's stuck up, like, I know he knows my mom and all that kind of stuff, he's cool, but he's no, he comes off as unreachable, you know beyond reproach. So okay, we'll see him at the Nothing But the Truth Ministry, shout out to them, at a little reunion or something. But it's like, I'll work with somebody else who I know I can work with, type thing, right? And I'm not putting words in your mouth. That's just me saying it from where I was standing from.
Mhm.
And that's part of the unlearning. And like you said, celebrating the wins. I don't celebrate my wins that much. Like, and it comes from people reminding, hey, Christian, you did do this before. And did I? It's a genuine did I? It has nothing to do with me searching for more compliments. It's like, I just today's Saturday, tomorrow Sunday. Like, you know what I'm saying? I train myself to, okay, what are we doing next? And then I'll, again, with unlearning, as I'll attach, okay, how many views did this thing get? Did the client post it? Did they use the right hashtag? I'm like, Chris, you did what you had to do, right? Like, you can repost it if you need to, right? Like, if you really want to do this, enough people, if you want to go that route, you can get what you want out of it. So like,
Mm.
calm down, go sit down somewhere, basically. And that's what I'm doing, sitting, talking with you. What does being worthy look like when you strip away titles, roles, achievements, fancy letters behind your name? What does that look like to you?
It looks like fulfilling my calling as God's child. It looks like recognizing how, and I know there are people out there who may not be faith driven, but when I think about how much of my worth is based on me being part of some interconnected um world and uh history, kind of like how you said, Mr. Richardson, with the recording of moving, and how we all have this part to play in how we want to push society forward. So when I think about my worth beyond those titles, I think about how God has instilled with me um, this gift of words, and not saying that that is another attachment in itself, but I think about much how many great things people have inside them, that they have so much potential to be and to sharpen and to keep going and to keep moving with. And I think about that a lot with people's worth and beyond labels, something that you're given and that you feel a push to do.
I'm so glad you just said that you're given. I think that if one thing, a linchpin that would, if you take it out, would undo the pressure we put on ourselves with the word worth,
Mhm.
remind yourself you were given this, right? That would hopefully turn on the epiphany light bulb over everyone's head. You know what? I didn't. This is, like you said, my talent was given to me, right? Like, or whatever it is people are calling me worthy on the outside was given to me, and I'm just here sharpening it. So maybe I look at it differently. Maybe I approach it differently. Maybe I allow people to approach me differently, type thing.
Yeah.
Um, on the opposite side of that, does a title, achievement, or whatever make you worthy?
I'm gonna say no. I
Okay.
think it I think it adds to it. It's kind of like, uh, if you take a cake, it's like icing on a cake, or perhaps when you have ice cream and it's just like all of these other toppings, but there's still something valuable there. And I think that those achievements are just perhaps society's way of saying that they see you. But even if you look at other people who are doing these tremendous things and they're not getting recognized, I think that the spotlight being on you definitely highlights what you already are or have inside you. So I think it adds on to it, not necessarily worth though.
Um, I will say the joy of doing things remotely. I'm losing my voice as we're talking, but we're going to keep it moving. Um, I will say, removing the title, again, younger Chris. No, I am a JD, DR, PhD. Like, I work for that. But then going back to what now this Chris says, like, it was given to you. It can be taken away just as fast. And you're not taking it, and you're not taking it with you. So do what you need to do while you have it, you have the time to do with it. But I don't think it makes you worthy. And funny enough, the more I do, the more I realize how everyone's significant, right? That you couldn't count to the number of human beings we have if we didn't count you in it, right? So everyone is significant. We all play a part. But I also know how insignificant I am in that larger number too, if that makes sense. Like I'm not the 8 billion, whatever the exact total number of human beings that walk this earth, but I am a number. How you got to that 8 billion something, something, something is because I'm included in there. Like I know my place. I know my place. Right.
Right.
And it's that also allows me to be and to relish in my imperfections, right? And to accept that I'll never be perfect. It's like, you know what? There's somebody number 200 something in the list. You do it because I'm tired of beating my head against the wall. Somebody out here is better at what I'm doing than this and is meant to do it better than I am. You have at it, right? And I'm not giving my number. Don't call me because I don't want to be stressed out. Like you do it. I'll enjoy it from afar, but everything's not worth. Wow, look at me using worth. It's not worth my time, and it's not meant for me to spend that time trying to be worthy in that. So, obvious question. Do you have a poem that you have written about worth or being worthy?
I have. I
Okay.
have written a poem about being worthy. Um, I actually did one. It was called, well, two that come to mind actually. One is called "Can You See Me?" When it's about this ancestral to this younger generation and them feeling like they still feel trapped by what society has made them to be, and then reclaiming that power within themselves. And then another one is more so empowerment piece to the girls of today. It's quite literally called "To the Girls of Today,"
Okay.
and it's there's this line in there where it's like, you know, a plant is never measured by its seed, but its care to grow. So to your point
Mm,
of chasing perfection, I do believe that there is value in your imperfections. There is
mhm.
value in your ambition, in your desire to evolve and to grow, and I think that's part of what makes somebody worthy is that they understand that they're not perfect and that they have room to grow and they grow.
It's amazing. And thank you for saying that, one. And two, that so many people of all age, all walks of life, don't hear what you just said, right? And it's just like how sometimes, the how, again, it's not me saying from my perfect perch in the world. I heard it, so you should hear it. But it's just like, how have you either not listened or literally someone has not said those words to you, right? And it's just like,
Mm.
and to your point of knowing your worth, one of the reasons you're here, you are gifted with words. I'll tell you. And if not, I can tell you, you can go buy my books. I'm telling you there, right? You know it, you know it. What is one thing you would want people to understand about worth?
So, similar to what I said, that worth is not in your perfection. It is in your imperfections and to celebrate those wins, even the little ones. And sometimes you need other people to remind you. Like I have my momager, as I call her, my mom manager.
Yes. Shout out momager. Yes.
Shout out momager. I have my father, I have my family, and of course I have you, who remind me of what I've done. And I think having that community is so important on your journey, support system. And then comparison is a thief of joy. If you're too busy comparing your gifts or your achievements or your worth to somebody else's, monetary or labels or not, you're going to miss the blessings that you've already had and will continue to have. So that's my takeaway for the readers or watchers out there.
No, I love it. I love it. And that soliloquy is why you are who you are, and why you all need to get I Am Not Sure Literature by Saniya Pearson. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And with that, peace and understanding, y'all. Till next time. Thank you for listening to Agree to Understand with Chris Richardson, where we don't agree to disagree, we agree to understand. Each guest has 2 episodes, and I don't want you to miss a single conversation. So make sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, watch the full conversations on YouTube, and jump in the comments on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the things. Stay connected, stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next episode.